Good evening, you're watching the 7 o'clock English news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos gives an audience to His Excellency the British Defence Secretary at Bayt al-Barakah. The Sultanate and United Kingdom hold official discussion session and sign a memorandum of understanding related to secondment of officers to work at the British Armed Forces. The Oman Economic and Free Zone Conference reviews the Sultan's experience in establishing free zones and available investment opportunities. And the Eye Center at Sultan's Armed Forces Hospital succeeds in the first of its kind cornea transplant operation. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos gave an audience to His Excellency Gavin Williamson, British Secretary of Defence at Bayt al-Barakah. During the meeting, they discussed bilateral cooperation aspects between the Sultanate and the United Kingdom in several fields, as well as ways to serve the common interests of the peoples of both countries. It was attended by His Excellency Said Badr bin Saud bin Harib al-Busaidi, Minister responsible for Defence Affairs, and His Excellency Hamish Cole, United Kingdom's Ambassador accredited to the Sultanate. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cable of condolences to His Excellency President Abdulaziz Bouteflika of Algeria on the victims of the military plane crash occurred near Algiers. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency Julius Maada Bio, President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, on the occasion of being elected as President of the Republic. His Excellency General Sultan bin Mohammed al-Nu'mani, Minister of Royal Office, received today His Excellency Gavin Williamson, British Defence Secretary. At the beginning of the meeting, His Excellency the Minister of Royal Office welcomed the guest, who expressed his delight to visit the Sultanate. The meeting exchanged cordial conversations and reviewed much of the good historic relations binding the Sultanate and the friendly UK in all areas and means of enhancing them to achieve the joint interest. The meeting also touched on several matters of common concern. An official session of talks was held today at the Ministry of Defence headquarters at Bayt al-Falaj camp between His Excellency Said Badr bin Saud bin Harib al-Busaidi, Minister responsible for Defence Affairs, and His Excellency Gavin Williamson, the British Defence Secretary. They reviewed aspects of cooperation in the military field and ways to enhance and develop them in both countries. A number of issues of common concern were also discussed during the session. Then they signed a memorandum of understanding between the Sultan's government, represented by the Minister of Defense, and the government of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, represented by the Ministry of Defense, concerning with secondment of a number of Omani military officers from various divisions of Sultan's armed forces to work at the British Armed Forces, which is applicable to the British Armed Forces. The move came as to exchange and acquire skills and experience between the two sides. It also is worth mentioning that the secondment of Omani officers is to be conducted for the first time between the two friendly countries. The session of talks and signing of the MOU was attended from the Omani side by His Excellency Mohammed bin Nasser bin Mohammed al-Rasbi, Secretary General of the Ministry of Defense, Lieutenant General Ahmed bin Harith bin Nasser al-Nabhani, Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces, and Major General Matar bin Salim bin Rashid al-Blushi, Commander of the Royal Army of Oman. It was also attended from the British side by His Excellency Amish Cromwell, United Kingdom's ambassador accredited to the Sultan, and the accompanying delegation of His Excellency the guests. The Special Economic Zone Authority in Duqm Sazed held Oman Economic and Free Zones Conference today in cooperation with Free Zone Watch. The event was presided over by His Excellency Dr. Ali bin Masoud al-Sinadi, Minister of Commerce and Industry, with more details by following report by Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi.
The Sultanate is progressing towards diversifying income sources through the development and expansion of free zones, ports, airports, and projects of gas exploration and production for industrial purposes. 250 participants from both inside and outside the Sultanate took part in the Economic and Free Zones Conference to discuss a number of topics related to the role the Omani industrial estates and free zones play in promoting investment opportunities in the Sultanate, as well as major projects in the pipeline.
We are targeting the investor from the inside of Oman and even outside of Oman. So, but this time we did our summit differently. So it's not only for Special Economic Zone of Duqm, but we have called the free zone of Salalah, as well as the free zone of Suhar and free zone of Mazyuna. So basically today we have ourselves, which is Special Economic Zone of Duqm, along with these three different places like Suhar and Salalah and Mazyuna. So just to keep things easy for the investor, so whenever they have any clarifications, anything to be even reply on spot, so that we will be available to reply to them.
This is because of the newly established.
The conference highlighted that the Sultanate has faced challenges of global decline in oil prices, but the Omani economy, due to a number of procedures, has started to recover, recording a new growth during the year 2017, and it is expected to increase in the coming phase with an increase of more than 3.5% in the GDP.
The government is going more and more day after day into innovative financing, into more role to be played by the privatization sector. In particular, in the industry. The industry is one of the 5 pillars of the ninth plan. It's a strategic pillar of the Vision 2020. The industry will generate jobs, will generate growth, and will generate sustainability.
We believe that there has to be more attention given to free zones, economic zones, and industrial estates of Oman in terms of promoting them as ideal destinations for FDI inflow. And I believe that bringing people together, the decision makers from the local institutions, both public and private, and potential foreign investors in one room, having the discussions, the presentations, and the dialogue between was essential.
During the summit, it was also revealed that more than 70 containers from different parts of the world have made their way directly from their origins to the customs in Al Mazyuna this week, while the government is also planning to construct another dry port in the logistics area of Khaza'in in the governorate of South Al Batina. For the Sultanate of Oman Television English News, صالح بن خلفان الرحبي, Muscat.
The arbitration committees in banks businesses recommended establishing specialized center for arbitration and center for studies and researches related to Islamic banking industry, in addition to amendments on civil and commercial arbitration law. The seminar discussed the role of arbitration in developing economy and attracting investments. It also contributed in enhancing awareness at various issues and topics related to Islamic banking, in addition to issues related to development of banking sector in general. The seminar was attended under the auspices of His Excellency Dr. Abdullah bin Mohammed Al-Saidi, Minister of Legal Affairs. The Eye Center of Sultan's Armed Forces Hospital succeeded in a coronary transplant operation, which is considered the first of its kind in the Sultanate in this field, through benefiting from one cornea to treat 2 patients. The operation was supervised by the qualified and capable national cadre as the technical crew assisting the surgeon trained in eye surgery school in Sultan's Armed Forces Hospital. It's worth mentioning that the Eye Center has all the facilities and advanced medical equipment, as it is considered one of the vital projects in the hospital aiming to provide quality medical services. Still to come, our news bulletin. A ceremony to celebrate the anniversary of Isra wal Mi'raj is organized in Muscat.
Every single day and help people to look neat and clean.
لا غنى دايم ولا فقر دايم والعز عنوان الحياة الكريمة.
الطائر المحكي Talents Competition is a Ramadan competition for Omanis and residents in the Sultanate, for males only. Youth creativities and talents, Islamic singing, acting, drawing, filming, traditional arts, magic tricks, sports skills, poetry, and more. Take part in auditions in Muscat on 12th to 13th of April at Avenues Mall, in Dhofar on 19th to 20th of April at Omani Women Association in Salalah, Al Buraimi on 26th to 27th of April at Buraimi University College, in Muscat from 1st to 4th of May at the College of Sharia Sciences. All auditions will be from 6 to 9 p.m. For inquiry, 98020258. الطائر المحكي Ramadan competition on Oman Live channel.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate Oman Television. His Excellency Yusuf bin Alawi bin Abdullah, Minister responsible for Foreign Affairs, received His Excellency Ahmed bin Ibrahim Al Mula, Speaker of the Council of Representatives in Bahrain. During the meeting, they exchanged points of views and discussed a number of political, regional and international issues of common concern. They also reviewed aspects of bilateral cooperation and ways to develop them so as to serve the joint interest of both countries. His Excellency Khalid bin Hilal Al-Mauli, Chairman of the Shura Council, also received His Excellency the Speaker of Council of Representatives in Bahrain. During the meeting, they reviewed the deep-rooted relations between the Sultanate and Bahrain, The meeting also focused on various issues related to works of international and regional parliament unions. The Ministry of Endowments and Religious Affairs organized a ceremony to celebrate the anniversary of Isra wal Mi'raj at Sharia Science College in the Governorate of Muscat. The event, which celebrates the miraculous might journey by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to Mecca to Jerusalem, and then ascended to heaven. This historical journey came to honor the Prophet by Allah. The ceremony, that witnessed a huge attendance from members of the society, included poetic sessions and religious lectures, in addition to presentations that expressed the biography of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. It was presided over by His Excellency Habib bin Muhammad Al-Riyami, Secretary General of Sultan Qaboos Higher Center for Culture and Science. A seminar on Omani scholars Sheikh Hamad bin Nur al-Din bin Hamid al-Salmi discussed his scientific and literary works. The event was organized by the Ministry of Endowments and Religious Affairs at the Cultural Club with the participation of a number of academics and researchers. The seminar shed light on his biography and his role in educating others. It also highlighted his march in judicial work and discussed his contribution in the field of Islamic jurisprudence. The seminar was presided over by His Excellency Nasser bin Hamoud al-Kindi, Secretary General of the Royal Court Affairs. Represented by Al Khawd Police Station, the Police Command of Muscat Governorate organized the 4th Annual Traffic Safety and Security Forum. It came to raise awareness on the culture of traffic safety. It was attended by many school students in the Wilaya of Sib. Activities of the forum included a lecture on traffic safety, some awareness films on the subject, and a theatrical skit on electronic extortion and its impacts on the society. The exhibition was also held on the sideline of the forum. Food Safety and Municipal Work Conference concluded in the Governorate of Muscat with recommendations to supporting scientific research in the field of cognitive and behavioral awareness for consumer. More details in the following report by Abdullah bin Ahmed Arwai.
The 3 days of intensive discussions on scientific papers presented by experts on food safety and quality system that aimed at protecting consumer health and the safety and the public health has concluded its sessions today. The conference came out with some of the recommendations, some of which ensuring food safety and attention to the quality of meals provided in schools and various educational institutions, and working to raise the level of food knowledge among students about the safety and the quality of food and the dangers that threaten them.
I just want to thank the Ministry of Municipalities and Water Resources of Oman for holding this wonderful educational and informative food safety conference in this Food Safety Week. I just would like to announce that I normally attend many conferences, and this Oman conference in 2018 was one of the very, very great and educational and informative conference.
A lot of good comments has been told by the audience. The audience has really tremendously enjoying this conference. Absolutely, we are tackling the problems which is now and the futures about how important the food safety it is. So we ought to be prepared, actually, to prepared by mean that improving our laboratories, the training our staff as well. So we'll also be touched around the world. Also, we have to build a bridge in food safety in various fields. So we are really very happy, and we are keen to see more in the future.
These types of conferences are very important because they bring together so many different actors who are important to food safety. They bring the regulatory people, they bring academics, but most importantly they bring also industry together. And it is a great opportunity to spread and to just exchange ideas. What are the new ideas? What are the up-and-coming technologies? And it is important to disseminate this kind of information from us as scientists to the practitioners, to the industry, to the regulatory bodies. I think the recommendations are very opportune, very appropriate, and I think also we should look to the future as well, to our future food safety practitioners. No, really we should look to the young people here.
The concerned authorities are working hand in hand to achieve the government goal to elevate the food safety system in the country into the international levels. Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
The Board of Directors of the Public Authority for Craft Industries approved a number of decisions aimed to developing crafts performance and work in which ensure continuous of projects and programs of developing craft sector in the Sultanate. The meeting included presenting visual show about electronic portal called We Will Be Creative and discussed systems included in the project, a number of services, percentage of achievements in the project, in addition to aspects of integration with governmental institutions and stages of digital transformation. The meeting was chaired by Her Excellency Sheikha Aisha bint Khalfan Asiyabia, chairperson of the Public Authority for Craft Industries. More than 33,000 small and medium-sized enterprises were recorded in the Public Authority for Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, RIADA, until the end of last February. The Governor of Muscat topped the list with the highest percentage by 32% of institutions after reaching 10,700 institutions, where the Governorate of North Baltimore came as second, recorded 5,068 institutions, followed by the Governorate of Dakhiliya with 4,468 institutions. On other news, the Algerian Defense Ministry today said 257 people were killed in a military plane crash in the north of the country. The emergency service said some survivors have been rescued. More than 300 workers were working at the scene. The flight had just taken off from the Bouafarik military base, 30 kilometers southwest of the capital, Algiers, to a military base in Bichar in southwest Algeria. Several witnesses said they saw flames coming out of one of the plane engines just before it took off. One farmer said some passengers jumped out of the aircraft before the accident. Severe flooding caused by melting snow left hundreds of homes under water today in the southwestern Russia. More than 1,000 people were forced to be evacuated in their homes. The Russian Emergency Situation Ministry said that more than 400 houses in 102 communities have been affected by the floods. Residents who evacuated their homes were relocated from the flood-stricken areas to temporary shelters. Residents in southwestern Voronezh region were using rubber dinghies to leave their houses. In Tambov, more than 400 kilometers southeast of Moscow, residents were assessing the damage caused by the flood waters. According to official information, hundreds of low-water bridges and 40 sections of motorways still remain flooded, cutting transport connections. And now for some fun news. Songkran in Thailand. Revelers in the old Thai capital of Ayutthaya were on Wednesday drenched by elephants at the annual Songkran Water Festival. The festival traditionally marks the new year in the Buddhist calendar and always features massive nationwide water nights, fights that last for days. Elephants of all ages and sizes fill their trunks from the roadside water containers and play with locals and tourists in front of their Ayutthaya ruined temple. The elephants are from the Ayutthaya elephant camp and are trained to spray water at passers-by while their welfare is closely monitored. Songkran festivals are held every year all over Thailand in the month of April. Now for the general focus around the Sultanate, clear skies prevail with chances of low clouds and fog late at night and early morning over the governorates of South Sharqiya, Dhofar and Wusta. And winds will be northwesterly to moderate. Seas will be slight to the maximum wave height of 1 meter. This is the Sultan of Oman Television. Before we enter tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos gives an audience to His Excellency the British Defence Secretary at Bayt al-Baraka. The Sultanate and United Kingdom hold official discussion session on and sign a memorandum of understanding related to secondment of officers to work at the British Armed Forces. The Oman Economic and Free Zone Conference reviews the Sultan's experience in establishing free zones and available investment opportunities. And the Eye Center at Sultan's Armed Forces Hospital succeeds in the first of its kind cornea transplant operation. And without come to the end of tonight's news bulletin from all of us here in the newsroom in the studios, thanks for watching. Good night.